I'm a certified financial planner. I've been a licensed financial advisor since 2007. I started my own firm in 2013 when I became a CFP. In 2015, I had a client that wanted to buy Bitcoin, and I talked him out of it. I was like, this makes no sense. It's no use case. And I was at that time comparing Bitcoin to a digital version of a Chuck E. Cheese coin. I think it was like $3,000 he wanted to do. If he would have kept him, he would have had almost 400 grand, right? In the Bible, when Saul became Paul on the road to Damascus, I had that moment myself. I remember like it's yesterday. I was in Italy for Christmas in 2021, and then it starts going down. I sold every single little coin that I had. Looking back at it, like I was doing the opposite of what I tell all my clients. I tell my clients, if you believe in an asset, if it goes down, you want to buy more. When the Los Angeles Lakers changed the name of their building from Staples to crypto.com, I was like, now these large institutions, or like from an advertisement standpoint, is now advertising it. It's not going away. We all, because of information, because of YouTube, because of social media, we all have the ability to invest without the banks and institutions pigeonholing that opportunity. We have the same investment everybody else has. I think from a growth standpoint, this is going to be huge. And people say, yes, Bitcoin came out in 2013, but we are so early. Like, I think we're in the second inning of a 9-inning kind of run.
Welcome to Sat Chats, the Bitcoin podcast, where we chat about sats. Sats are the smallest part of a Bitcoin, the same way pennies are the smallest part of a dollar. Sat Chats is building the world's biggest Bitcoin welcome center. So if you are brand new to Bitcoin, we want to chat about sats with you. Head to satchats.com to grab your slot in the studio today. I'm your host, Stuart, Bitcoin Dad.
And I'm number 40, Anna Bevan, Chief of Staff.
In the studio today, number 119, Mario is in the studio. Certified financial planner from Jax, aka Jacksonville, Florida. Mm-hmm. He has got an incredible message about how Bitcoin represents early and equal access to growth, not only for Americans, but really literally everybody on earth. So let's dive right into Mario's Bitcoin story. Mario, why don't you introduce yourself to our satillionaires and then tell us the story of the time you talked one of your clients out of generational wealth through Bitcoin.
I'm so excited.
I know, right? Yeah. So Mario Payne, I'm a certified financial planner. I've been a licensed financial advisor since 2007. I started my own firm in 2013 when I became a CFP. Have one of the largest Black-owned investment firms in Florida. We're SEC registered, which means we manage hundreds of $millions of assets. So that's kind of my spiel. But yeah, from a Bitcoin standpoint, in 2015, I had a client that wanted to buy Bitcoin, and I talked him out of it. I was like, this makes no sense. It's no use case. And I was at that time comparing Bitcoin to a digital version of a Chuck E. Cheese coin. Like, what is it going to do? Like, you just have it, and how can you spend it? What can you, like, this makes no sense, and I talked him out of it. Now, he wasn't going to put in like $100,000. I think it was like $3,000 he wanted to do. But I mean, $3,000 back then. I mean, I think I think Bitcoin was like 1,100 at that time, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, he would have had, if he would have kept him, he would have had what's almost 400 grand, right? No, $380,000.
Basically 3 Bitcoin. So he would have had about 3 Bitcoin, which today would be $345,000.
Yeah.
But when he came to you originally, what did that conversation sound like when he brought it up? Why was he interested in it? And what did that conversation look like?
Yeah, so he looked at it as digital gold, as I'm looking at Bitcoin. Well, not today, but a few years ago, and I had that moment myself, right? Like in the Bible, when Saul became Paul on the road to Damascus, like So yeah. So he looked at it as digital code. He was like man, things are being digital. PayPal was getting bigger at that time. It's like, so what is a way that we can convert cash and from a coin into cash. You can't do that with gold because you have to walk around with gold. He was telling me a story like what if today, if I wanted to fly from here to London with my gold, I can't do it. But with my money, if it's digital, I can do it. And I just didn't see that case. But like today, brilliant thought process, by the way, because that's why digital Bitcoin or whatever coin that you're in is good, because you get to take it anywhere where you want to. But at the time, I just didn't see it like that. I looked at it as not a scam, but like, you buy something that you can't turn into fiat currency. And I wasn't looking at it from a digital standpoint. So I was completely wrong. And then in 2017, I was like, let me buy a little bit of it just to see, as you see more headlines out there about it, not from mainstream media, but just from like, going on the internet, YouTube University, and that type of thing. And I started buying a little bit more. And then I kind of dove deep in 2020, basically almost at the peak, right? And so then, and I remember like it's yesterday, because I think it hit like an all-time high when I was in Italy. I was in Italy for Christmas in 2021. And I'm telling my family, and I'm seeing my Robinhood, because I was buying that Robinhood at that time, go up and up and up, and then it starts going down, right? And I sold it. I sold every single little coin that I had, and then I sold it. And so looking back at it, like I was doing the opposite what I tell all my clients. I tell my clients, if you believe in an asset, if it goes down, you want to buy more, right? You don't want to sell it. You want to buy more. Now, luckily enough for me, when I sold it, when I bought it all back, I bought it at a lower price, which is good. But like, what if I would have bought it as it was going down? Dollar cost averaging, right? When the market's up or when the coin is up or down, if you dollar cost average, you always get a true price, just like what Michael Saylor's doing today. I didn't do that. So, but going forward, I have been. But I know that's a long-winded answer. But yes, in 2015, I definitely talked him out of it. He's still a client today. He doesn't have as much money as he could have, but with some of the other stock investments like that. Now we bought him in NVIDIA like in 2018, though. So I did do good for him. So
you've made good on your end by you talked him out of 3 Bitcoin, but at least you got him into NVIDIA 5 or 6 years
Silver
ago.
linings there.
So now, and now you can go even further by saying, listen, bud, now it's time to dump this worthless NVIDIA business and get the Bitcoin. Get the Bitcoin. Now go get the Bitcoin, because the Bitcoin is going to be outstanding no matter what, but NVIDIA will one day not be doing what it is doing, if you ask me. So when he came to you and said, hey man, this is the opportunity to go anywhere around the world and have 12 words in my head, and I can be my own bank. I can take care of my own money. You really don't even need to have anything other than those 12 words in your head. He's saying to himself, this is so useful that I'm going to try to get some. And when you talked him out of it as a Chuck E. Cheese coin, it took. And listen, man, I get it, because it's really difficult to look at something in the digital world and say, this has value. Cannot be copy pasted, has to be worked for, mathematically sound, algorithmically secure. I mean, my son plays Disney Emoji Blitz on his smartphone, and it's basically a Candy Crush with a Disney veneer laid on top. And he is assaulted by prompts to spend $1, $3, $5, opening a treasure chest, which may or may not have coins or emojis in it. I mean, he wants to spend his allowance in the store of this smartphone game. I mean, I'm like, Lion, that has no value. That is a digital knickknack inside a video game that is not where it doesn't even advance your cause in the video game. It's just a random collectible to kind of personalize it further. It's a total waste of money. And I'm sure when you looked at Bitcoin, it felt the same way. It's like, it's just this digital curio that cannot be anything like the real estate market, which we know and love, the land market, which we know and love and runs underneath the real estate one, gold, oil, commodities like coffee and wheat. Like, it's just not proven. But it sounds like over time, Bitcoin kept going. And by 2017, you became interested enough to start stacking a little bit yourself, correct?
Oh yeah, you're correct. Yeah, and this is research, right? Just doing research. Like I said, Main Street Media. I mean, heck, 2 years ago, Main Street Media. Like I remember, like it's yesterday. I was in my exercise room at my house watching CNBC, and like they're this trash in Bitcoin, the trash in Bitcoin. You look up today, and like they got Michael Saylor in there. It's just like night and day how Main Street Media has shifted in the past 2 years, really, when it comes to Bitcoin. But no, just more research, and then saying, hey, let me try this thing out. Let me throw a couple $100 and see what happens. And that $100 has turned into hundreds of thousands of dollars later. So yeah.
So were you just kind of like buying the dip from 2017 to 2021? Were you dollar cost averaging in? How were you treating that leading up to the moment when you sold it?
Nah, I would just kind of when I wanted to. So again, just being honest, like not telling my clients what to do. Like even certified financial planners, we do things erratically sometimes. Believe it or not, we're humans, right? Now, of course, I get things more right than wrong. But yeah, just like, if I hear something about it or I talk to a person, like, oh, let me buy some more. It wasn't like an actual schedule. I definitely wasn't DCAing. Like now, of course, I DCA every single week. I'm DCA into cryptocurrency, but no, back then it's just kind of when I hear something good about it, let me put in more, which is more buying high than buying low, to be honest with you, right? Because you hear something good, it's usually that investment popped up, but no, I wasn't DCAing, just kind of when I felt like it, basically. And then especially 2020, early 2021, mid 21, as I was going up, like, oh my gosh, I'm looking at my Robinhood account, I'm looking at my Coinbase account. So this is going, like, I got to keep on buying more, right? And so I should have did like that on the downturn as well in 2022, which of course I didn't do.
Mario, when you were, you're buying Bitcoin for several years, kind of with your spare change or just kind of like in bits and bobs whenever it comes up. I mean, you're not on YouTube devouring the Chad Michael Saylor's, latest presentation in Portugal or something. It's just kind of, you're not pursuing it with the zealotry, that many Bitcoiners do when they finally figure it out and have that Saul into Paul moment that you talked about. But you have enough by the time you are in Italy for Christmas.
Yeah.
That when it starts to when that exchange rate between Bitcoin and the US dollar starts to go the wrong way, you decide to sell not some, but all of it. So how were you feeling in that moment? Were you feeling like, uh-oh, it turns out it was Chuck E. Cheese coin the whole time, I'm out of here?
Yeah. It was. I felt actually bad because I was like, man, like I could have invested in so much other things, and like for it to go down, like I think it was down like 30% in a matter of like a couple weeks. Just like WTF, like what am I doing here? Like just now at that time I wasn't recommending that to clients though, so that I felt good about that. But I was recommending to friends, to family. So it's like that egg on your face. It's like, oh my God, it's like, man, like my thought process back in 2015 when I told my client not to do it, I end up doing it, and look at me today. It just so no, I didn't feel good off. I felt bad. But like I said, I did have solitude that like my clients that were not friends of mine, but like like my professional clients, like they wasn't affected because we wasn't recommended at that time. So that made me feel good. I was like, well, I dodged that bullet, but at the same time, from an asset standpoint, I was like, man, I could have bought Apple. I could have bought Amazon. So all the stocks that you think like, man, if I would have bought that back then, and I had that opportunity back then to do it, and I did not do it. So it was definitely buyer's remorse. Back in basically what early 2022 when the fall started happening.
So what made you decide to go back in and start buying again? Because it sounds like you were regretting the fact that you missed some opportunities to buy some more traditional stock or more traditional investments and assets. What made you say like, hey, I'm ready to go back in?
Yeah. So when the Los Angeles Lakers changed the name of their building from Staples to crypto.com, and I saw like UFC, doing crypto.com, and now it was like a reimagination of cryptocurrency. I was like, like now these large institutions, or like from an advertisement standpoint, is now advertising it like it's not going away, right? So that, and then actually doing more research, so like seeing like, okay, these 20-30% falls, it happens in Bitcoin. Like, so from a stock standpoint, stock goes down by 20%, like that's a bear market, we know it's going to go back up, but it takes a very, very long time, theoretically speaking, for the market to go down by 20-25%, right? Bitcoin, back then, I don't think that's going to happen anymore, because you have so much institutions and governments behind it now, but back then, like, that could happen in a week, right? So like me being educated, like, what happened in early 2022, like that was part of a cycle. Like, me knowing about like halving, I didn't know anything about that when I was buying it. I was just buying it because of the growth potential. So like me being more educated about what it is, the use cases of it. At that time, Elon Musk saying that he would, take Bitcoin as payment if you bought a Tesla. Like when like stuff like that happened, it's like, okay, like you have these large institutions. I know at one time Walmart a few years ago was saying that they was going to take Bitcoin as payment. They haven't yet. I know they're working on their own stable coin, but like, when you have like these large institutions adopting it, it's like, man, this ain't going nowhere. If anything, is going to go up. So at that time I was like, great. And then Grayscale at the time came out with like their Bitcoin ETF. So that allowed me to think, okay, well, now this big institution like Grayscale that's actually on the market, that manages, hundreds of millions of dollars, is actually doing their own fund tied to Bitcoin. This ain't going anywhere.
You're going through like almost every possible stage of Bitcoin that you can go through. And I love that at the end of all of it, you're just back to stacking sats like the rest of us, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's why we ask each of our pre-coiners to just stack the sats like the rest of us. Don't try to do this. Don't try to do that. Don't try to time this. Don't try to time that. Highs, lows. Just like you said, if you had dollar cost averaged on the way down instead of getting out, then you would have had more than selling here and then luckily getting it back at a lower and being able to continue on. But if you're enjoying Mario's story so far, smash the subscribe here on YouTube. We are trying to put 10,000 subscribers underneath our Christmas tree. We ain't gonna be in Italy selling our Bitcoin, but it is gonna be Christmas
selling
time.
Our Bitcoin.
We might be in Italy,
right?
But we won't be selling our Bitcoin,
right?
Thank you for helping us get there. We will be selecting one of you at random and dropping 2 million satoshis.
Sats.
2 million sats on your head. So smash this. And Mario's going, whoa, bro, I'm going to subscribe to Sat Chats after, because I'm trying to get 0.02 of a Bitcoin for free.
Totally.
So let's zoom out a little bit then, Mario, from your personal story to where everyone is right now in history. I mean, you told us that right now we have as much opportunity to create wealth for ourselves as some of these 19th century barons did during the Industrial Revolution. So, and how elite would that be? Bring back the barons, just so we can use that word more often.
I think you're going to find a way to about 3 more times today.
So take your bets right now about whether I do that, and listen all the way to the end. Yes. Help our Satillionaires understand why Bitcoin, even today, in 2025, which is 10 years later than that conversation you had with your client, even still today, help them understand why Bitcoin represents this early and equal access to growth.
With the Industrial Revolution, people had information and they had capital. They was able to see the future 50, 100 years from now. So the Vanderbilts, the Rockefellers, they was able to see, if we do railroads, we're going to be able to connect America. You're going to be able to travel. We're going to go from the cart and the horse to railroads to ship things. So they saw it in the future and they had the capital to do it. we all, because of information, because of YouTube, because of social media, we all have the ability to invest because we know 50, 100 years from now, the world's going to be totally different. We have the ability without the banks and institutions pigeonholing that opportunity. We have the same investment everybody else has. So I think from a growth standpoint, this is going to be huge. Like, and people say, yes, Bitcoin came out in 2013, but we are so early. Like, I think we're in the second inning of a 9 inning kind of run. Like 7% of Americans right now have some type of form of cryptocurrency. You compare that to the stock market where you have over 70% of Americans have either a stock, a bond, a mutual fund, or a 401k. So we are so early. I mean, you have Kathy Wood saying that Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million a coin by the year 2030. So like we have so much runway of growth. It's just, are we going to take advantage of it?
It's really, really interesting to compare today to the Industrial Revolution, because it's, and to say that people could see 50 to 100 years out into the future is wild.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it made me feel like, how wonderful is it to find something that you know you can just hammer away at for decades productively and profitably. Like if you're that 19th century baron, and there's one for you, and you're like, okay, wait. Railroads, guys, railroads. I could spend my entire life building railroads, and I know that after 30 years, I probably still won't have the whole country connected the way that it should be, but it's going to be profitable to build these railroads the whole time. Like, that appeals to me, Mario, because I'm not a big fan of actively participating in my day-to-day life. I'm not a huge fan of like making individual specific decisions each day based on the conditions. I don't want to manage this, check on that, refresh that, rebalance that. I just want to bond with something meaningful and just absolutely grind it out for infinity. So it sounds like Bitcoin, in your estimation, is something that we can turn our attention to for decades to come, and it's just going to continue to be a good choice to make.
Oh, we are at the tip of the iceberg. Like I said before, nothing against him, but like 3 years ago, Jamie Dimon, said that Bitcoin was a scam. Now, the same time that they was trying to create their own blockchain, but like he came out and said it's a scam, and now they're to the point where they're trying to have their own stable coin. That's an institution, they're one of the biggest off exchange buyers of Bitcoin. So it's crazy how once the big banks get involved, like you're going to see, like we had a Genius Act that came out, and now President Trump basically said that companies can now house Bitcoin in a 401k. So we can now, starting in November, buy 401ks. Buy Bitcoin inside our 401k. I bet any dollar mine, like Fidelity, they show the green line, right, in your household. That's the thing. I bet my bottom dollar by a year, no longer than 2 years, it's going to be a commercial from Fidelity with that green line going to Bitcoin, saying, it's safe. You don't have to worry about people stealing your Bitcoin. It's an alternative investment. They might not say safe, but safe from being stolen, right? Some way or somehow to give us that sense of security. And when that happens, when you have, the 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds who want to buy Bitcoin, might not have the capital, but are in a 401k where their employer's giving them money to do it, it's going to go up. And then you're going to have older individuals that, did not maybe invest like they were supposed to. And they want that kind of quick fix or that quick growth that Bitcoin can give you. Now, I don't think you should invest for that reason, but you're going to have those people who speculate in their 401ks. So when we have more 401k adoption, we're going to see Bitcoin skyrocket. Like I personally might be right, might be wrong. I think we can easily get to 175,000 to 200,000 a Bitcoin. I can easily see Bitcoin being at 600, 700,000 a coin in 2030. I know Kathy Wood says $1 million. I don't know about that, but like we are just the tip of the iceberg of how we can use Bitcoin in our day-to-day life.
So 2 things. One, I was listening to like a founders podcast not too long ago, and listened to the one about the Rockefellers, and hearing you sort of equate this time to that time in the Industrial Revolution, I totally feel it. I see it. The energy is there. And it's not just because like I don't think it's just because we talk about Bitcoin all day, every day. But there is something that is happening that is different. And I think the equal opportunity to access to generational wealth is something that really resonates with me as a millennial. And I think it resonates with a lot of people, and being able to buy $10, $15, not large amounts of money, and still seeing that grow. That's a little bit of like okay, so like I can do this too on with a small amount, and it doesn't have to be massive amounts of money that starts to see compounded interest. And then the second thing is, you're talking about the shift that's about to happen with traditional financial models, JP Morgan, Fidelity. Most every financial advisor I talk to, you are the only exception, is very no to Bitcoin. They're like, nah, we ain't doing this.
They're like Mario circa 2015.
Yeah, absolutely. They're like, we're not advising our clients to do this. This is Chuck E. Cheese coin. This will not even get you anything in the game of Monopoly. Like that shift is going to be kind of interesting, I think, if they move to, like, collectively, financial advisors around the world, shift to recognizing that, hey, Bitcoin is like, it's not a joke. Maybe it is a good way for you to store your wealth and create wealth. What do you think is going to be the catalyst that really has all these financial advisors shifting? And then why would they be holding back so long? Lots of there.
Yeah. So it's compliance. And so like I'm in a different situation because I'm not like a quote unquote normal financial advisor. So I have my own investment firm. I have my own SEC registered investment firm. Only about 6% of all licensed financial advisors have their own firm. So I have my own compliance. I'm registered through the SEC because I manage hundreds of $1 million of assets. So like, since I have my own kind of compliance company per se that does my compliance, I'm not like a Morgan, nothing against Morgan Stanley, they're a great company, but Morgan Stanley, like literally a month and a half ago, they had it where you could not recommend if you talk about Bitcoin. Now you can do 1%, no more than 2% of your client's money into Bitcoin, right? So like when compliance starts to have that shift that allows financial advisors to do it, they're going to go from no, I can't. They're not going to say no, I can't because compliance, but no, I can't because I don't want you to leave and go somewhere else like me where compliance ain't the issue, right? That's number one. Number two, also, how we make money is structured on the growth of your portfolio. So like, again, back a few years ago, if I had all my clients in Bitcoin when it went down by 30%, that's a 30% decrease in income for me, and probably clients leaving me because I lost y'all 30% of your money over the course of a few months. So like our payment structure, and because we get paid on assets, like the more assets you have, the more we make. So like if a client leaves because of a bad investment decision, that hurts us. So it's better for us to put you into like a regular index fund that you're not going to be beating the market. You're going to be doing as good as the market. You're not going to be doing like Bitcoin or other crypto is going to be outperforming the market like crazy. But like our payment structure does not behoove us to do that. It might be best for you, but it might not be best for us. And at the end of the day, everybody's looking out for themselves. Like a person could say, oh, I do what's best for my clients. No, you don't. Like you look after yourself because you have to pay bills like everybody else. So number one, once compliance companies allow you to open that door and for you to do more, you're going to see more financial advisors do it. But from a payment standpoint, if we get paid by assets and it's a way that it's going to go down, we might not do it. Now, me, again, it's different. As I said before, I recommend no more than 20%. Because like with any stock, I like to be, diversified. I know, you guys might be maximists. You might say 100% Bitcoin. Totally understand it. Nothing wrong with that. Again, personally, I have 60% of my money in cryptocurrency between Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum. So what I tell my clients, what I do is two different things, but I'm managing people's money though. So we recommend up to 20%. But definitely, like I said, from a compliance standpoint, you're going to see probably the next 3 or 4 years to shift from 1% to 5%. I don't think it's ever going to be 20% unless institutionals find a way to really make money. So like what that means, like Morgan Stanley or Fidelity have their own stable coin. I don't know what that's going to look like, but until they find ways to make money and reduce the risk, it's always going to be that, you can't do it, or you can only put a small amount of your money in Bitcoin.
Do you anticipate yourself moving above 20% as we get a little further down the road of Bitcoin? Because you seem to be very much on the forefront of advising your clients to invest in the hard asset of Bitcoin. Or
yeah. So from a diversification standpoint, right? So it's crazy because I always use the same phrase, like concentration builds wealth and diversification preserves wealth, right? So like when you're building wealth, doing like Bitcoin, that's a way to build wealth, but also I want you to be diversified because I want you to preserve what you have as well. So will that 20% go up maybe over time? But I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, because if most people are saying 1% to 2% and I'm doing 20%, I'm kind of an outlier when it comes to certified financial planners already.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also with more institutions buying Bitcoin, with more governments buying Bitcoin, states having their own, Bitcoin treasuries, like it's happening, the fluctuation of Bitcoin where we have those 20% down days, it's not going to happen again. And the fluctuation of Bitcoin where it goes down like crazy, it will go down, but it's going to get to the point 5-10 years from now, it's going to go up and down like the market. Like we might have a bad day, but it won't be a 20% down day. It might be a 2% down day. When that happens, then yes, because of the risk of losing money will be lower. When that happens, then I'll probably increase that. But as of today, 20% is, other financial advisors, my friends of mine, look at me like I'm crazy. Like, what are you doing? Like, what you put 10% of person in MicroStrategy? Like, you're crazy. Like, what if that stock goes down? But it's like a Bitcoin treasury. It's really not a stock, but it's just,
I think it's incredible to hear that a certified financial planner, who is registered with the SEC,
Securities Exchange Commission,
10x what I'm hearing from the likes of Fidelity and BlackRock and other institutions. Like, hey, maybe 2%. Just kind of dip your this little piggy went to the Bitcoin exchange, and you're saying, nah, let me get up to 20%, which is incredible. Now, yes, you're right. I am a Bitcoin maxi who wears prescription sunglasses to protect you and your loved ones from my Bitcoin laser eyes, because my desired exposure is all of it, 100%, all of it. Because I know that it is the bedrock of our intergalactic future, and it's not 50 to 100 years out. I'm looking at 500 to 1,000 plus on this, the credit. It is the Star Wars credit of space travel. But what's interesting is, even if you recommend 20%, which is, again, 10x the average, over time, Bitcoin will simply grow to become 100% of your portfolio, because it is outperforming everything for 16 years in a row. So let's imagine that we've got a satillionaire in the audience, Mario. They are a pre-coiner. They are on the fence. They're like, well, it's really interesting to hear someone who is not just a random guy in North Carolina who has a podcast studio talk about Bitcoin. This is a certified, bona fide, regulated, responsible individual who is saying, hey man, I talked somebody out of Bitcoin 10 years ago, and that was the wrong choice. Saying, now we recommend it. We recommend a lot more than other firms. If they're getting to the point where your story is what they needed to get off the fence and stack their first sats, what are the different ways that they can do it? Or maybe even better, how would you recommend specifically that this individual get started?
Yeah. So to be clear, this is more informational recommendations. And then also have disclosed past performance doesn't guarantee future results, right? I'm a certified financial planner, so just want to put that out there. Well, first off, risk. Like anytime a person, invests money, like you have your risk tolerance. So like, how much can we risk? Because yes, Bitcoin, in my opinion, is going to outperform the market, in my opinion, but we don't know. Right. So like how much from a risk standpoint are you willing to stomach? Like that's the first thing. Also, as a certified financial planner, we also say before you invest, you do want to have 3 to 6 months of money in your emergency savings account. Like that's just kind of just the norm, right? I got to throw that out there because I am a certified financial planner. So then after that, once we get to those two hurdles, like how to invest, again, you guys probably think a little bit different than me. I had my stuff with Robinhood and Coinbase at one time, but then when IBIT came out in January of last year, I felt more comfortable taking my money off those exchanges and putting it into an ETF. So you have, again, not a recommendation, but symbols, IBIT, IBIT, that you can buy, which basically is Bitcoin on the stock market. Through iShares, BlackRock, which made so much money. The largest if the largest money management company in the world that manages 7% of the world's population is pushing Bitcoin, it's not going anywhere. And that's IBIT. Larry Fink, he basically told the SEC, hey, you guys, Bitcoin ain't going nowhere. Gary Gensler, bye-bye. So symbol IBIT. Fidelity has a fund as well, FBTC. And I would say start there. Me personally. Now, yes, you can open up a Coinbase account or a Robinhood account or do it on Webull, but I just like the ability to know that, it can't be stolen. Like I know Coinbase had their issue a few months ago, but I mean, nobody's got their stuff stolen. But I don't even want to have my clients have that opportunity to feel like their stuff got stolen because they had it on exchange. So I like to buy things on the market with those two ETFs, either symbol IBIT with iShares or the Fidelity ETF tied to Bitcoin, which is FBTC.
Okay. So you're saying look at your finances, make sure you have 3 to 6 months emergency fund in place.
Yes.
So if you don't have 3 to 6 months, get 3 to 6 months. If you don't know how expensive you are in a monthly amount, go ahead and create a budget for yourself. Figure out how much you cost, multiply that by anywhere between 3 to 6, and then shoot for that number. Once you have enough to cover yourself from some type of earning outage, and that could be losing your job, that could be getting injured on the job, that could be the need to take some kind of mental break or whatever. Once you can comfortably deal with today's not too hot job market, right? Then your recommendation is figure out what your risk tolerance is. Is it 1% of your investment portfolio? Is it 2%? Is it a maximum of 20%? And once you have that number, then you start getting exposure to Bitcoin through either BlackRock's IBIT or Fidelity's FBTC. These are ETFs that custody the Bitcoin for you and chop it up into their own shares, sell it to you that way. If you Satillioners want to know more about ETFs, go back in our playlist to Isabel, who basically we spent the whole episode learning about what an ETF literally is. So that would be your recommendation to all of our listeners here today. Very interesting. And one thing I wanted to ask you real quick, okay? I had a guest on the show, number 108 JC. His mathematics pointed toward $10 million per Bitcoin if America puts 2% of their investment portfolios toward Bitcoin. Does that?
Oh my God!
I don't know if it was America or worldwide, but
either way, it's an outrageous
he
number.
said something along the lines of, if everyone gets a 2% exposure, so maybe it was worldwide. If everybody on Earth is like, okay, well, I'm just going to get 2%, then you're mathematically already at $10 million a coin. What do you think about that?
That's crazy. I would have thousands, plural, of very, very happy clients. Very, very, very happy clients.
I bet.
And when Yeah, and I would definitely be like in Jamaica somewhere, drinking mojitos and enjoying life at that point, because that's crazy for my pockets, but more importantly, my clients' pockets. Yeah, I don't. I would love this to see that calculation. So, like I said, me personally, I think we're easily at 500 to 600,000 a coin in 2030, and I think we're easily by 2040 up to 1 to 1.5 million a coin. Again, I know Kathy Wood said by 2030 1 million. And she said by 2040 10 million a coin. Like that's
Let's
crazy
go.
to think
Yeah.
about in 15 years.
Let's go.
Yeah. So yeah, but I would definitely say just in general, like it's a way for you, in my humble opinion, to outperform the stock market. Now, again, diversification and past performance does not guarantee future results. So we still have our clients doing more their money in stocks than Bitcoin. Not me personally, right? But still our clients are more diversified in stocks than Bitcoin. However, though, I do think this asset class, this sector, investment sector, is going to continue to outperform the market. Now, will it do averaging what 85% a year like it has been? Like, I don't think that's going to be the case, because of course when more people buy it, yes, it's going to bring up the value, but then also as it brings up the value, it won't be as much fluctuation. So I think we're going to get to a day where it's closer to a 20-25% return, which is still 3x what the market does on average. So I think we're gonna get closer to there 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now than being up by 85% a year. So I don't think those huge gains. I think we missed out on that, or people that's buying it today. But again, if you ask a person in the next 10 years, would I want to have the opportunity to buy an index fund that's going to give me 10%, or the opportunity to be in Bitcoin per se that has opportunity getting 30%, of course you would say 30%. So yeah, but that I would love to see that calculation though, because that's crazy.
Crazy.
That would be great for number one Jessie.
Yes.
And her retirement strategy.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Well, Mario, there is so much to Bitcoin that we will never fit it into a single chat about Sats. So we do ask each of our guests if they would be willing to come back on in 9 months to give us an update on their Bitcoin baby. Would you be willing to do that for us?
Of course, of course, of course.
So let's recap the conversation with Mario. 2015, some absolute legend among his clientele rolls up and says, look, brother, I'm trying to grab 3 Bitcoin that I can store inside my head and fly around anywhere on earth. And Mario was like, dude, you really don't want to buy the treasure chests inside Disney Emoji Blitz, son, because they're not worth anything. Okay. It's just digital nonsense. It's nothing. It's a nothing burger, right?
Yeah.
Your client would have in fact had almost $400,000 worth of additional wealth 10 years later. And if Kathy Wood is correct, by 2040, his 3,000 would have been 30 million. Which is like, go. I mean, that's an unlimited Jamaica mojito holiday.
Yeah. Keep him awake.
now you give me a heart attack right now saying that, man. Like, don't. Yeah.
Now, we're not trying to break up any scar tissue here, because quite frankly, you redeemed yourself at least 2 different ways. Number one, you counseled him to buy some NVIDIA in 2018, so he's doing just fine.
Yes.
Number 2, you did not calcify your mental model into this hardened structure that would refuse to adopt Bitcoin later after not recommending it earlier. We do see a lot of entrenched mindsets. And
can I actually touch real quick as well, just from like the financial advisor industry, right? Because I think sometimes people look at, especially now with like more retail investors, they look at financial advisors as like the anti-investors and everything. Like we're human, and so for the financial advisor community watching this, like put your pride to the side. Like, we make mistakes just like everybody else. But just because we make the mistakes, we should not stop our clients or stop the world from having the opportunity to make money. And like the name of the game, if you're servicing a client, like you want to protect them, you want to protect their assets, but you want to give them the opportunity and the ability to make money. So by you having your pride because you, like me, told a person not to do it, or you told your friends not to do it, and now you're stuck at this point that you're never going to change your mind, how is that helping? So put your pride to the side. I know I'm on my soapbox right now, but financial advisors, put your pride to the side. The past is the past. If we're able to recommend something to clients that's going to make them money, achieve the financial goals that you want them to achieve as a financial advisor, why not do that? And Bitcoin gives clients the ability that they don't have today.
Let's go.
Yeah, that was great.
So a great conversation with Mario today that touched on that moment with his client, the fact that 6 to 7% of America and something like 1 to 2% of the world in its entirety has adopted Bitcoin. This is your opportunity to be like that 19th century baron who could grab something and hang on to it for the long term and just keep going and not have to find the next great thing. It's like we found it. So, you know, with 70% being in the stock market, a lot of those gains are already priced in. Yes, Bitcoin may not go, you know, scrambling upward like it used to, but it's going to go up every single year, period. And personally, I believe that once mass adoption comes in, it is going to scramble up and it's going to blow your mind. You're going to be in Jamaica before you know it. We're going to be doing your 9-month Bitcoin baby update from you being on the beach. And be like, hey, man, can you turn down the ocean waves? Because like we're trying to get some high fidelity out. It's going to be great for you. And we talked about how Bitcoin represents early and equal access to growth. Once you've got 3 to 6 months in your piggy bank for disasters, start turning your attention to investing into the future. Figure out if you want somewhere between 0 and 20% exposure to Bitcoin, and then go get yourself some FBTC or some IBIT, or keep listening to me, and over time, you'll be staying humble, stacking sats in self-custody like a boss. So let's take a break here for our lead sponsor.
Ithaca Hummus is our lead sponsor. Are you familiar with Ithaca Hummus?
No, I am not. No.
Well, it is hands down the absolute best hummus. It is made with all the freshest ingredients. You can read every ingredient on here and know exactly what it is.
And
So,
I think you can grab it at Publix in Florida, along with Whole Foods, maybe Costco. So it should be pretty widely available there in Jacksonville.
And this is, you chose everything bagel flavor. This is, I think, one of the richest flavors of Ithaca Hummus, because it is literally everything bagel, everything but the bagel.
It smells like the little toppings that fall off of the top of the everything bagel. You know what I'm talking about?
Totally. Yep.
All the different things.
Yep.
All right, here we go. I'll serve as your taste buds here, Mario.
Mm-hmm. Like the salt just makes me want to go back in and get more.
I want an everything bagel with cream cheese now.
Totally.
As a result of eating that. Like,
yes. I like
yummy, all the little flavoring specks that go on top of the everything bagel.
Some lemon in there.
Exactly like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And it's almost like full bodied like a cream cheese as well, but not too heavy.
Right.
So the texture is really banging with Ithaca hummus. You know what I mean?
It's the best part. They use less tahini than other hummuses, so there's not that like I don't know how to put a word to that facial expression.
It has like a different mouth feel.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is a real word, and I think it's all one word, mouth feel. I think that's like a distinct culinary term.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You would agree with that? Okay.
Yeah. I think that's not one of your made up words.
So Mario, hit Publix, grab some everything bagel hummus from Ithaca Hummus, eat some, and then come back to the comments of your video and tell us what you thought about it, okay? So I think their current slogan is tastes outside your comfort zone, but I have my own here on Sat Chats. It's Ithaca hummus. Buy the dip. Let's go, Bitcoin.
The dip.
The double meaning is
Buy
not
the dip.
lost.
Right? That's an excellent play on words that I came up with. So I'm going to pat myself on the back.
Oh, I'm so glad you were here for that.
Yeah. I'm going to give myself approval for that play on words. All right, Abes.
Excellent. So we have here at Sat Chats, we believe in value for value. And in exchange for your time, we'd like to offer you the opportunity to choose between $50 in fiat currency and $50 in Bitcoin, which comes at today's exchange rate is 43,650 Satoshis. So,
the Satoshis any day of the week. Wow. Fiat. Y'all see the value of the dollar lately? The value of the dollar is almost, it's like at a 5-year low.
Oh, 5-year low.
That's why we don't touch it here.
Oh, that's why we have it encased like the 20th century artifact that it is.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you go sit on a shelf somewhere with a plaque next to you describing to the people what you used to do? Yeah.
Jabroni.
Loser. God, yeah, you're a jabroni. $50 bill. All right, Mario. So first of all, high five on stacking the sats. Let's go.
Yes.
43,650 Satoshis for Mario. You bring our show's scoreboard to 113 guests who have stacked the sats, along with 9
That need a little bit more time.
who just need a little bit more time. Yeah. So,
In the words of DJ Khaled, for those 9 people, you played yourself.
another one. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to have another one with Mario here in 9 months. Mario, if someone out there in the audience listened to your story and was like, you know what? I really like his brand of rigorous honesty.
Mm-hmm.
And also it almost, I learned today that my financial advisor is going to tell me that Bitcoin is too risky because actually they're not compliant enough to be able to recommend it just yet. They're giving me the wrong reason. They're delaying my generational wealth. But Mario is a CFP with his own fund, his own compliance team. He can do it. He can make it happen. I want to contact this guy and get started with him. Where can they go?
Yeah, so my free content is always YouTube or my Instagram. So that's at Painful Profits. So PAYNEFUL Profits, PROFITS. We drop content every single day there. So if you want to get to know me better before you reach out and talk to me, then that's how you find me, either on my Instagram or my YouTube, or you can go to our websites, www.tomes, TOAMS financial.com, or the website for my best-selling book, The Relax Investor, www.relax, RELAX, investor.com.
Okay, let's go.
Awesome. Love that.
So, Satillionaires, if you enjoyed our chat about sats today with Mario, if you want to grow Bitcoin adoption worldwide, then you want to grow our YouTube channel, because we are growing Bitcoin adoption worldwide, because we're literally making brand new Bitcoiners on videotape and publishing the results and giving them our own freaking Satoshis to get them started. So smash the subscribe button on YouTube, hit the bell icon while you're there so you get the notifications. We need your help putting 10,000 subscribers underneath our Christmas tree this year. To thank you for helping us get there, we will be selecting one of you at random and dropping 2 million sats on your head. So help us put 10K subscribers underneath our Yuletide tree. We might put 2 million sats underneath yours. Let's go.
That's a nice gift.
You can join us every weekday on YouTube at 11 a.m. Eastern. 4 days a week, it's Sat Chats episodes like the one here with Mario. Fridays is our live game show, TikTok Next Block, where you play for 1 million sats.
Every time.
1 million sats every week, okay? 2 million sats on the subscriber challenge. The Satoshis are just spilling outward.
We're just throwing them around like Oprah.
I mean, because we got to get it out there in circulation, okay? You get a Satoshi, you get a Satoshi, you get a Satoshi. If you want to be a guest on Sat Chats, if you want to play TikTok Next Block, If you want to sponsor our show, you can go to satchats.com. There will be a big fat button for each of those choices. Just click on it and you will be good to go. You can skip to the head of the line of our live game show by playing along in the chat on Friday mornings and getting the high score. And we are going to put Mario's information in our show notes along with our Bitcoin address on chain and our Lightning address if you want to send your Satoshis through us to the next brand new Bitcoiner. So, Sat Chats is for educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial advice. Also, our guests' views are their own. Until next time, keep stacking sats.